All right. So are you ready to really dive deep into the wild world of professional wrestling?
Definitely. I think a lot of people think it's all fake and just a bunch of theatrics.
But it's so much more than that, right?
Absolutely. There's a reason it's captivated audiences for decades. It's athleticism storytelling and, yeah, a little bit of spectacle all rolled into one.
It's like watching a live action comic book unfold.
Exactly. And today we're going to break down some of the hottest storylines and biggest names in the business.
Specifically, we're talking Zero Hour Wrestling and NRT.
That's right. Two organizations that are really pushing the boundaries of what wrestling can be.
So think of this deep dive as your ultimate cheat sheet for that upcoming watch party you got with your friends.
By the end of this, you'll be dropping wrestling knowledge like a true expert.
All right, let's start with the reigning champ in Zero Hour Wrestling. Benjamin Shannon, better known to fans as the Wasteland Wanderer.
He's a force to be reckoned with, for sure.
Now, we know Shannon's a striker, but for those of us who aren't exactly wrestling scholars,
Yeah.
could you break down what that means?
Sure thing. So in wrestling, you have different styles. Some wrestlers are more technical, focusing on grappling and submissions.
Right, like trying to get their opponent in the hole they can't escape.
Exactly. Others are high flyers, all about those acrobatic moves and aerial attacks.
That's always exciting to watch.
But a striker, like Benjamin Shannon, it's all about precision and power.
So kind of like a boxer in the ring.
Exactly. He's methodical, calculating every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike.
And those strikes can be brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
He's known for his devastating kicks and punches, wearing his opponents down with targeted attacks.
so it's not just brute force. There's a real strategy to his style.
Absolutely. It's like a chess match, where every move can lead to a knockout.
And speaking of knockouts, Shannon has a big qualifier match coming up for Tundra Takeover.
Now, that is a can't-miss event.
So Tundra Takeover, this is like the Super Bowl of wrestling.
Pretty much. It's one of the biggest events of the year where champions or crowned rivalries reach their peak.
And the stakes are incredibly high.
For sure. This qualifier match is Shannon's ticket to the main roster.
It's like the big leagues of wrestling.
Exactly. He could potentially become a double champion.
Wow, that's huge.
It would be a historic achievement,
And you know what they say in wrestling? Anything can happen.
especially at Tundra Takeover.
Speaking of big events and surprises, let's talk about the shocker that sent the wrestling world into a frenzy, Young Ace's heel turn.
Ah, yes. The golden ace turning into the absolute ace.
Can you remind us what exactly a heel turn is?
Well, it's when a wrestler who's been a fan favorite, a hero, essentially decides to embrace the dark side.
They become the villain.
Exactly. And it's always a big deal because it completely changes the dynamics of their character, their storylines, everything.
And it usually comes with a pretty dramatic shift in their behavior.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just a name change. They often go to extremes to show they're serious about this new persona.
And Young Ace definitely didn't hold back.
Not at all. I mean, injuring Io Sky, vacating the Women's Intercontinental Championship, talk about making a statement.
That was a brutal attack on Io Sky.
It was, and it really cemented Young Ace's transformation into the absolute ace.
Cold, ruthless, and driven.
That's the new Young Ace.
So what do you think this means for Io Sky when she recovers?
Well, it's definitely a setback, but injuries can sometimes lead to some of the most compelling storylines in wrestling.
It gives them time to build anticipation for their return.
Exactly. This could fuel a fierce rivalry between Sky and Young Ace when she's back in the
A
ring,
revenge story.
or it could open up opportunities for other wrestlers in the women's division.
A chance to step up and make a name for themselves.
Exactly. So while it's unfortunate for Sky, it definitely throws a wrench into things in a really exciting way.
And speaking of the women's division, with the Women's Intercontinental Championship now vacant, there's a tournament underway to crown a new champion.
That's right. This title represents a legacy of incredible female athletes.
It's a symbol of strength, skill, and determination.
And winning this tournament, it's a chance to etch your name in wrestling history.
So let's talk about a first-round matchup that's got everyone talking: Dakota Kai versus Fallon Henley.
This is going to be a clash of styles for sure.
What can you tell us about these two competitors?
Well, Dakota Kai, she's known for her incredible kicking ability.
I've heard she's got some of the most powerful kicks in the business.
Absolutely. She's precise, she's strategic, and those kicks can be absolutely devastating.
So she's like a surgeon in the ring.
Exactly. Then you have Fallon Henley, who brings this raw, unpredictable energy to every match.
She's a brawler.
Absolutely. A risk taker, always keeping her opponents on their toes.
So it's going to be precision versus power strategy versus instinct.
Exactly. It's a matchup that could go either way.
Can't wait to see how that one unfolds.
Me neither.
And we've got two more wrestlers to talk about, both competing in separate Tundra Takeover Qualifiers, Stephanie Vacker and Julia.
Two very different competitors, but both incredibly talented.
So what can you tell us about their styles?
Well, Stephanie Vacker, she's known for her technical prowess.
She's like a wrestling scientist, right?
Exactly. She studies her opponents, figures out their weaknesses, and then methodically dismantles them in the ring.
It's almost like watching a master chess player at work.
Absolutely. Then you have Julia, who's this explosive ball of energy.
She's got a reputation for being a high flyer.
Oh, yeah. She's incorporating acrobatic moves and aerial attacks into her matches.
And she's not afraid to mix it up on the ground either.
No way. She's got a strong striking game as well.
So she's a real threat in the ring.
Absolutely. A rising star with a ton of potential.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have. You're practically a wrestling expert now.
But like we said, this is just a taste of what professional wrestling has to offer.
There are so many other wrestlers, storylines, championships to discover.
Each match tells a story. Each wrestler has a journey.
And it's all happening in this incredible world of athleticism, drama, and entertainment.
So who do you think is going to come out on top at Tundra Takeover?
It's anyone's guess.
That's the beauty of wrestling.
You never know what's going to happen next.
So if this deep dive has piqued your interest, maybe it's time to start following the action yourself.
There's a whole universe of wrestling waiting to be explored.
And who knows, maybe you'll even find yourself hosting your own watch party someday.
Now that would be awesome.
All right, that's it for our deep dive into the world of professional wrestling.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, stay tuned.
And keep on wrestling.
We'll see you in the squared circle.